Oh, it's been a while.
Staying on.
All right, we're good to go. Questions for our student athletes. We'll start with Brian and then Michael.
Yeah, I think you just said it's been a while, like being up here kind of thing, or?
No, the dog that said
Oh, okay. But I mean, we haven't talked with you for a while and kind of had a bit of an up and down start. Like, what have you been dealing with physically, and how do you feel now that you're back?
Oh, man. I don't really want to talk about what I've been dealing with physically, but what I can say is that it's great to be back. You know, I mean, all my teammates embraced me, you know, coming back from what I came back from, but, you know, it just feels good.
And do you feel that you were at your best this past game?
I think so. Top physical condition, as far as that, but I think I have more to offer.
Michael and then Troy.
Do you guys both consider yourselves like Houstonians?
Yeah.
Is that accurate? Tell them, like, how close are your hometowns to like that?
You know, you want to go or you want me to say?
Mine's probably like 30 miles west of Houston, so I really claim Katy, but it's close enough.
Mine like north of Houston, so like from people that's not from Houston, I can tell them I'm from Houston, but like where I'm really from is New Caney.
Did you grow up rooting for the Texans or Houston, University of Houston, or did you have other like rooting interests?
My family, we grew up Texans fans. My dad's a Cowboys fan. You know, I support him sometimes if he's watching them alone. But yeah, we grew up Texas fans, University of Texas fans. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can say the same thing. I grew up a Texans fan, but only because like the first player I ever met was Arian Foster. So like, you know.
Troy and then Justin.
So one of the things that Brennan talked about at the beginning of the season was wanting to see the team not have that snowball effect that he felt like you guys had last year. Just coming off of this loss, what have you seen? I know it's only one day of practice, but what have you seen from the guys out there that reflects not going into that same mindset?
Yeah, I just feel like, you know, we have a 24-hour rule, and, you know, once that 24 hours was up, you know, it was flush, and everyone was ready to get back to work. And I think after Saturday game, you know, there's no moral victory, so I think we were just so eager to, you know, get back out there and go to work. And, like, we have that confidence instilled now that, like, you know, we can play football, and, like, let's have this confidence to go in next week and just, you know, continue to do what we do, and that's just play Wildcat football.
I think for like mentally weak teams, like it's easy to like lose that hunger or the mindset that like we need. But everybody on the team, we feel how close we is. So I think we still hungry, and I don't think this loss defines us as a team at all.
Justin and then Brian.
So, Ken, now that you're back and Quincy's getting healthier, Ismail having, you know, impressive last few games, collectively, you know, now that you guys are healthy, what do you guys think this rushing game can help?
You know, like I said, like at the beginning of the year, I think we like a three-headed snake. You know what I mean? Like, no way you can stop all three of us. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, it's dangerous.
And then how has the offense evolved through the first half of the season under Seth Biggie?
What do you mean evolved?
Just like, you know, how have you guys progressed? Like, just, you know, at this point of the season, how do you feel about how things are going, and what are some of the things that you like about it?
I mean, I guess like one thing I could say about the offense evolvement was more like not really like physically or like conceptually or anything like that, but like our mindset has become stronger throughout the year as we've been winning games or as we've been like getting coached under Daggy, we've started to like adapt his mindset as a collective. So that's what I can say about us.
Brian and then Michael.
Dalton, what do you think was the biggest issue for you guys as far as defending the run this past game?
I would just say it gets a little harder when it's quarterback run because technically they +1 you. You know, we try to +1 in the box, but when you involve the quarterback, it +1's an extra blocker. So I think you know we're out of the wrong gap sometimes, myself included. You know, there was multiple times where I should have been somewhere and I wasn't. So yeah, I think just the +1, you know, it can expose the defense, and so yeah, it's got to be more aggressive on it.
And would you expect that Houston, seeing the trouble that maybe you guys had with that they might try to implement that a little bit more?
Yeah, I think they might. I know they like to, get their quarterback involved when they can. He doesn't run as much as the previous quarterback we just played did, but they do like to use him when they can. So, I would expect it, and we're ready for it.
Michael and then Troy.
One question for each. For Dalton, you guys have had success on the road in the past, but since that Utah game last year, things really haven't gone that well on the road. What does it take to win a road game? What's the difference between like that Utah game and maybe some of the ones after?
Yeah, I would just say it's really just how you prepare that Friday. When you're traveling, just make sure you're detail oriented, and you just have everything handled before from school and just knowing the playbook. And when you arrive to Houston, we should be game ready and ready to play that instant. But we prepared for this in the off season, to win October and November, win the road games because those are important, And so, we're ready for it, and, we just got to be ready mentally.
Sure. And then for Kedrick, obviously you guys have had issues in the red zone, situations where you want to score touchdowns and you're ending up with field goals, or you're turning the ball over in bounds. What have the coaches been talking about this week as far as improving in the red zone?
Man, we just gotta finish and keep our foot on their neck. You know what I mean? Like I say, our mindset is changing, but we still got things to clean up.
Troy and then Justin.
Piggybacking off of that, Kedrick, third downs have been Jekyll and Hyde for this unit so far this season. Where do you think lies in the details of excelling on third down? What do you think you guys can improve on those third down situations?
We just gotta be detailed. I mean, there's nothing more to it, to be honest with you. Because everything that, he can call whatever he wants. If we detailed, nobody can stop us.
Justin.
So Dalton, how did it feel to get a pick first time since 23, right?
Yeah, no, it felt great. Obviously, as a DB, that's what you want is the picks. The picks pay the big bucks. But I was excited. I seen the ball go behind and see him come wide open, and so I figured he was going to throw it there, and there it was. So yeah, it's been a while. So it's something I've been trying to work on is hunt the ball. So hopefully this is the first, and we're going to continue.
And you guys have more picks already this year than you've had all of last year. So what has been key just in terms of you guys becoming more ball hawks?
Yeah, I think, I would say maybe it's Coach G's defense. We're a little bit more spaced out, and, as well as what we're practicing, our ball drills, and, you practice how you play, so we're able to get our eyes more on the quarterback and, try and really read that. And I feel like the more experience, that me, Jen, and Stooks have, we're able to read one step, three step, and, kind of get a jump on where the quarterback's going.
Any more questions? Michael?
How many family members are you going to have at this game, and did you have to hit up your teammates to get tickets or anything of that nature?
Shoot, I'm still hitting my teammates up. I don't know how many people I'm supposed to have.
Yeah, I'm at I think I'm at 28 or 30. Yeah, I've been moving quick to get tickets, so hopefully, people can't make it and I can dish them out to kid.
What's the normal allotment that you get for a game, or the normal amount of people who will come?
I think last year at TCU, I think I had 45 people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're playing here, normal is, I guess, 4, the normal 4 we get. But when we were at, TCU? Yeah, I think I had about 25. The Alamo Bowl, that was the most. I think I had 36. Yeah.
So I've seen at some of the home games, customized graphic T-shirts and stuff. Are there any of your family members doing stuff like that for you?
Yeah, my people, they always do the graphic tees. I don't know. I thank them for it.
For both of you, what does it mean to have that support?
Oh, it means the world. I mean, that's my support system. You know what I mean? Without them, I don't think I'd be anything.
Yeah, I would piggyback on that. It means everything to me, and especially, when it's, family members that aren't able to, see me play in person as much. And, I get to go home to Houston, and play in front of them. And, it just fuels me to, play better and, give them what they came to see and just, let them realize they're my motivation and really show that.
Our last two will be Justin and Brian.
So tell us about just Katy, Texas, and the football culture there.
Katy, Texas football, I be trying to tell the guys in the locker room, but, they never believe me. But yeah, when Friday comes around, you have mom and pop shops, and small town restaurants, closing early to go to a high school game. I think football really means something. But I'm so glad I went there to Katy High School. I feel like that football program is really college-like, and it got me ready for the next level. And yeah, it's carried over. So I'm really thankful for Coach Joseph and the football staff over there.
And since you've been here since 2021, what do you make of the kind of the wave of players from Texas coming over? I'm sure it's only grown since you've gotten here.
Yeah, with the previous staff, it wasn't as much. I know there were more West Coast, and Coach B and his staff came in, and Coach B even said, he's going to go get Texas guys, and I was all aboard with that because Texas football means a little something more.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank y'all.
You're good in the back. All right, we'll start with our own big statement from Coach, and then we'll take questions.
Yeah, obviously a heartbreaking loss, but I was really, really encouraged by some of the things that I saw. Some of the positives from that game where we were down in a 14-point hole, and our guys responded, which was awesome to see. The drive that we went down and to make it 14-7 to kind of spark the team and get everybody going, and then going, the rest of the time unanswered points. I mean, the second, we had 2 minutes and 38 seconds left before the half, and we go down there and take a lead. That's big time. It was a big time throw by Noah and big time catch by Chris to give us a lot of momentum. And then after, in the second half, coming out there and eating up 7 minutes and like 30 seconds of that second half drive was big time by our guys. And unfortunately, we made too many mistakes in the red zone. Too many mistakes in the red zone, whether it be penalties, whether it be missed assignments, whether it be missed throws. You just can't. You're not going to be able to score that way. And so that was the most disappointing thing. And then I think in overtime, obviously the hold that neglects a touchdown, I really felt like that was game over when we scored. That put us in a hole. And then, I felt like Noah, gave us a chance on that last play to extend the game. So a lot of positives, obviously heartbreaking. Danny says this all the time. There's no moral victories for me. At the end of the day, we didn't get it done, and we had a chance offensively, especially with 4 minutes left to extend it. You have to run the ball the first 2 plays just to keep the drive going, to keep the clock running. You have to. I felt like the second play, they finally gave us like coverage, in a normal down that we actually had, an advantage box, and we ended up getting 1 yard maybe. And so, on the third down call, we have Chris Hudson wide open on a return route. We just can't get to him because we can't pass off the twist game correctly. So, lack of execution kind of ended that drive. And so, like I said, at the end of the day, We didn't get it done, and there's a lot of things to clean up. But I'm really proud of our kids because they freaking battled. That's the most encouraging part. And then obviously on Sunday, you would think, with that type of loss, our kids would be down. It's probably the most energetic Sunday I've been a part of. Not because they don't care, just because they got a lot of confidence, and they know they should have won that game. And so we got to do a better job offensively, putting our team in a better position to win and finding ways to win games late. But I'm super proud of our guys, and I'm excited to go attack Houston with them.
Thank you, Coach. We'll start with Troy and Justin.
And I touched upon it there, I think it was run pass on that one possession before the final possession. Noah, would you prefer him to run the ball there when the play kind of didn't
When it breaks
develop,
down, yeah.
instead of throwing him in?
Yeah, like you would. We've talked about that before. But I also don't want to put that in his mind on a third down call when it's like, hey, if it breaks down, don't try to escape and make a play to extend the drive. And I think that's just like in his mind at the time it was going on. He had to hurdle a guy and get it and expand. And next thing you know, the 54, the Michael linebacker triggered on him. It's there in a hurry. So like, yeah, it sounds good. And I think on paper, when you watch it, it's one of those things. It's like, man, just eat it. But in the heat of the moment, that's hard to eat, right? You're trying to make a play. And so, yeah, I think on, what is it, CIA, Danny, that we do? The CIA reports? Yeah, eat the ball. As a competitor, it's kind of hard to do.
Justin and Jason.
So we saw Kevin Reesano really get going. This week's a big week for him going back home to Houston. What do you make of just his progress and how he's going to help you guys moving forward?
Yeah, he's a warrior. He's a warrior that, he's fighting through, his injury, finding ways to be available. You should see him attack his rehab. It's unbelievable because he just wants to be a great teammate. He wants to help the team. And so I love that kid. Obviously, he's got a little bit more size than the other two. And so like you saw it on that fourth down call where we called basically duo. He ran through like 3 people and scores. I mean, that's just who he is. That's the mentality that he has. He's truly bought into what we're talking about, what we believe in. And I love him. I mean, he's been such a leader for us. And so when the ball's in his hands, I feel very confident.
Jason and then Michael.
How do you feel about the overall distribution numbers to receivers? With some guys, is it more of how the game went, or just overall certain guys maybe not getting targeted as much as others?
So I'm assuming you're talking about Spivey and the tight end numbers. So the tight end numbers, why was the tight end targeted more than Spivey? Well, the tight end was targeted more than Spivey because twice we had to check the ball down. He's the check down. We call it an over route where Nunu's wide open. We get interior pressure. He has to escape, and the only thing he can find is the tight end in the flat, one target. Then we run like a double post, I think on like the 18. They cover it up. The check down is the return route target. We get 9 yards there. The two calls that we had to target the tight end, one was a wheel route that I feel like Noah missed, and he'll tell you that he missed. I think there's 2 throws he wished he had back, and this is one of them. We had a show fake with a double post wheel. It actually gets the linebacker carrying the tight end to step down. So we have a step. And Noah's just a little slow to get to it, and he rushes the throw, and it sails on him. That's a target. Down in the red zone, we call an RPO with a flat screen, and it's supposed to be cracked by the inside player, and the outside player runs off. We bust. We ran that all week. It was probably one of the more confident calls I've had in my sheet, just because of the way they played, and we had it dialed up perfectly. We just didn't execute it correctly. Target. The one that we threw to him late on 3rd and 6, that was pretty aggressive. Like I really like that ball to be handed. That was really more for a man-to-man crack if they gave us pressure. So we got targeted there. And then I did call some plays to get Spivey a touch. We called a stutter around midfield that he didn't win on. And then we called an over that they covered up that was trying to get him a deep over. And then we threw a comeback to him late that I felt was contested, but I felt like he still could have made that play. And so, like, at the end of the day, like, I understand what it says on paper, but yeah, I'm trying to get the playmakers the balls now. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get our best players the ball. Like you saw, Chris Hudson was playing well. I was trying to feed him. I thought he was a different type of receiver, a guy that we saw at fall camp, and that I felt like we could lean on, especially with him playing that well. So I felt good about where we were going with the football. The ball did find the tight end quite a bit, just on some checkdowns and some screens. Like I said, some of them weren't supposed to be there. And like I said, I wanted Spivey to get involved. Every time I tried to get him involved, it seemed like it was the wrong coverage, and we didn't win.
Michael and then Brian.
So you touched on the red zone issues a little bit. I think you guys are next to last currently in touchdown percentage in the conference. Do you feel like you need to maybe balance things out a little more and run the ball more, especially this last game? I think it was mostly pass plays.
Yeah. So let's go through my process here. We get down there on the first drive, or was it not the first drive? The first time we get down there, I call a movement pass to Chris Hudson, and I would have bet everything that I have that we were going to score on that play, because we have yet to be stopped on that play. That's the most confident I've ever been on a play, and they cover it. Okay. Then we call the wheel route on second down. That pops wide open. So if we complete that, then sure, no, we're not having this discussion. And then we run the bunch on the third down that Chris pops wide open. And those are the two throws that Noah wishes he had back. I mean, two throws he normally makes, two throws he makes in practice all the time, two throws he missed. And then we go down, and there was a couple times like we threw RPOs when the ball should be handed. So I did call runs, and we got a little aggressive sometimes. But sometimes he got aggressive. Like one time he got aggressive and threw kind of like it was supposed to be a rub route to Nunu. They played too high, like to throw it, and he got aggressive and threw it anyways. Shoot, man, he gave him a chance, hit him around the hands. You know what I mean? So if he catches that, are we still having this discussion? You know what I mean? So it's just like, I think the biggest issue is like, yeah, should I run the ball at times? Absolutely. But it's not like I'm just calling passes. I am calling runs. But you also have to have this element of RPOs just in case they do stack the box. Now, do I think Noah got aggressive at times of going after it? Yes, I do. Do I need to fix that? Yes, I do. Do I take accountability for like us not being good in the red zone? Absolutely. That's on me. But I'm going to own it. I'm going to fix it. Like in the overtime drive, we ran the ball. The one that we scored, we did run the ball. And then on the second one, I didn't want to take it out of his hands. Our best player is number one. And so I wanted number one to have the best chance to go win the game. On second down, it was 2nd and 10. I did call a run. We spit, a flat route, which we've never done since I've been here. You know what I mean? Just trying to be too aggressive again. And if we hand the ball, it probably walks in. So there was some runs called that I felt like would have been successful runs. We just got to fix like how we're throwing RPOs and when we can throw them, and understanding, the difference of what I'm looking for and what I'm not. So I think, again, like at the end of the day, yes, it's on me and I need to fix it, and we're working on it.
Brian and Troy.
Well, since you brought up some specifics and all that, rather than being asked about it, so obviously you're aware of like what people are saying about it. How do you not let that affect what you do?
My wife?
I tell them what you want to say.
Yeah. She's on me all the time. No, to be honest with you, I think I'm probably my worst critic. I've always been that way. Danny knows this because he's had to talk to me a couple times. But I want to win more than anybody. And the reason I want to win is because I think these kids deserve it and these coaches deserve it. I work extremely, extremely hard, and I take a lot of pride in my work, and I take a lot of pride in my organization. I take a lot of pride in my plans. I think we've had plans to go win games every single time. Whether they were executed or not, obviously that's still, that's not up to debate. Obviously there's been two games where we didn't really execute that well enough to win. But these kids believe. And so, after a heartbreaking loss like that, I wake up the next morning and I got multiple text messages from our players. And they're telling me like they're owning it. They're saying like, hey coach, I let you down. Or believe, man, let's go attack this week. Let's go get Houston. I mean, like our best players are texting me in the middle of the night. Hey, we still believe, man. And so that gives me a lot of motivation, and it keeps me encouraged. And at the end of the day, man, it comes with the job. Like, you want to be a quarterback? I mean, Josh Allen's one of the better quarterbacks in the world. He gets freaking criticized. It's like, what? Pat Mahomes gets criticized. You know what I mean? Like, the world's greatest coaches get criticized. Bill Belichick is getting destroyed right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's just part of the job, and you know that. So, you know, as a quarterback, I've kind of always, you know, I've played at a high level where, you know, you walk into a classroom and you win a game and everybody wants to high-five you and take pictures. And then when you lose a game, there's a school newspaper with how bad you suck, and nobody wants to look at you. You know what I mean? Like, that's just part of the job.
Troy and Jason.
One of the things that kind of went under the radar was the block on that 4th and 1 by Cam Barmore. Just his development as a blocker in the run game there.
Yeah, I think Coach Miller obviously has done a tremendous job, because that was not the case in the spring. In the spring, it was, when he first got here, there was a lot of question marks if Cam could do it, if Cam could develop into that blocker that we needed him to, because he is athletic and he's long, but does he have the willingness to go be physical? And the transformation that he's made since the spring has been huge. And I give a lot of credit to Coach Miller, because Coach Miller is a great developer. He does have a unique way to get to kids. He does bring a really aggressive mentality to his coaching and his philosophy and in his room. And so, and then Cam has bought in completely. And so that's why you see really growth from him. And we feel really confident about him. So I'm excited about it. He played, I mean, there was, like you said, the 4th and 1 block. There, on the touchdown that got called back in the overtime, he buries number 16, like puts number 16 on his back. So there was a lot of good things from Cam Barmore, and I'm excited to see where his progression throughout the season for sure.
The last two will be Jason and Justin.
Initial thoughts on Houston?
Well, they're a top 25 scoring defense and top 25 yards per game defense. So, you know, it's another good defense that we're going to have a great plan for and go execute and not beat ourselves. So they do a great job of mixing up the front, which, you know, it seems like all good defenses right now do a great job of mixing up the front and keeping you guessing and keeping the combinations and the communication always an issue. They have an interior, I think it's Carlos Allen, I think that's his name, number 5. Like, he's a dude. He's a problem, and they loop him all over the place. It's hard to really get a one-on-one block on him. I think the 2 edge guys are really strong, and they do a really good job of setting the edge and forcing everything back into the junk. And then I remember we played, actually, the nickel is a Georgia Southern transfer, and we played him last year at Marshall, and he was a stud. They actually had to play him at corner, and I put my best receiver on him because he's not very big, and I went after him. And he shut us down because he's a tough dude, and he's a football playing Joe now. So they got some really good players, and they got a good scheme. You can tell they're playing at a high level and playing with a lot of confidence. So it's a great challenge for us. Now I do think our guys are excited about this challenge. Like, I'm kind of double down on this, but our guys, the way they approached Sunday and the way they approached Monday and the way they approached today's practice, you would have never known that we just came off a heartbreaking loss that, you know, we should have won. And those kids are over it. Those kids know that Houston's the next opponent, and that's the biggest challenge, and they're ready to attack it. It's probably the more encouraging practice that I've seen on a Tuesday, which is shocking to me. And I'm encouraged by it. I really like our kids. They are resilient. They fight. But the effort, energy today was phenomenal.
We'll wrap up with Justin.
So being a Texas native, did you have any games against Houston area teams, and what do you think just about Houston football culture?
Yeah, we played there. I want to say it was my redshirt freshman year. We played at Houston. I think we lost by 1 in the final seconds, and I'm pretty sure one of our linemen punched a hole in the visitors' locker room. It was a big ordeal with Leach still there. It was quite a scene, but they. I think, you know, obviously Houston's a hotbed for recruiting. I mean, there's players everywhere. You can go to you can step in one school that's 5 minutes down the road, and there's 2 or 3 Division I kids, and you go to the next school, there's 2 or 3 Division I kids. So football's important, and there's a ton of it. And so, like, if you have a coach there that can get that program running, I mean, you don't have to leave the Houston area to find really good talent. So football's a big deal, and going back home, obviously the state that buys into football being important it's a lot of fun. And it's gonna be interesting to see what's the environment that early. But anytime I've ever played at a Texas school, there's people that show up and they're rowdy, so we expect that.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Seth.
All right.
All right,
Let me take the coach, then we'll take questions.
perfect. I've sat up here and said this before. I hate losing more than I enjoy winning. And as gut-wrenching as that was, if the city of Tucson wants to be mad at somebody in the Wildcat Nation, go ahead and be mad at me. I begged you and Coach B, we really convinced you to dig in and buy in on this football team. And when you lose a game like that, it's gut-wrenching and everybody wants to burn the village down and get rid of everything. And we're in the process of building something that I think can be special. There's going to be those growing pains. We didn't finish an opportunity that we sat in control of it. And much like the Kansas State game, with 5 minutes to go, we put the defense out there. And I sat here in this chair on March 22nd, 2025, and said, we have enough talent to be a top 10, top 15 defense in this country. And guess what? We're a top 15 defense in this country through 6 games. And so our ideas, doesn't matter what happens the rest of the game, if we've got an opportunity and a touchdown lead or a 10-point lead with 7 minutes to go or 4 minutes to go, put us on the field and we'll close it. We didn't. We had opportunities and we didn't. Referees aren't excuses. We had an opportunity. It took them 8 plays to score from the 8-yard line. And we had opportunities to get off the field, we didn't. Game started out and being detailed. We're good on defense. We're not great yet. We have the opportunity to be great and be elite. But to be elite, you can't make mistakes. And on the 3rd play of the game, we have a linebacker that should come off the edge and hit Bear right in the mouth. They don't block our linebacker coming through the B gap right there, so Tay's got a chance to hit a sack fumble. Well, instead of coming off the edge, we pinch inside thinking it was a different stunt, so he has to scramble. We end up getting him down, and we get off the field on a 3 and out. But what could have been a really exciting play to start the game is an okay play. And there's a bunch of that on tape. The first touchdown, we have a young man that should come off the edge because we got 2 off the edge. Both of them surf instead of pinching. Detail. Shouldn't be a touchdown. Should be a 4-yard loss, not a 20-yard gain. So we didn't detail those moments enough to be elite, to be top 5. Can we get there? We can. If we can shut some people down over the next 6 weeks, we can. The second touchdown, when we gave up our first touchdown pass, and it really bothered me, it was to Kingston because on Coach's show he was talking that noise about they were going to end it, and give him credit. And give Coach Sataki and BYU credit because they found a way to win a game that we talk about. The final 8 minutes of the Big 12 since 2017, that's where the game comes down to. They found a way. They found a way. And guess what? They have continuity in that program of 11 years. And they built that thing. They weren't great when he first got there. When Bronco Mendenhall left, they had a downfall through there, and then Kalani built that program up. And now that's their expectation. They found a way to win. We found a way to not win. We did it to ourselves. We had opportunities on 4th and 7. We don't get off the field. We have an opportunity on 3rd and 7. We don't get off the field. Okay, I thought the first overtime possession, after we give up those 2 touchdowns and Kingston hits us for a 75-yard touchdown, they go 6 drives. And they had gone 32 straight quarters of scoring a point. They don't score no points for 2 quarters. And from 5 minutes to go in the first quarter till 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, they don't score a point and they get 127 yards. So we were playing really good defense at that point. We had given Coach B confidence in what we were doing and those game tactical decisions. And I jump all over the board. I have the idea when we go out there, they ain't moving the ball. And so when they return that punt, We didn't keep them from getting in the end zone to put that thing into overtime. We didn't keep them from, they go 69 yards on 15 plays and kick a field goal. We had 2 third down opportunities to get off the field. The game was won on third down. 8 of 16, we gave up too many. Now, I have a lot of respect for Bear Bachmeier. That dude is a tough sucker, and they've got no problem running him and concern about him getting hurt, which gives you a pretty big advantage as an offensive coordinator when you've got an 11-man run game when you can +1 with the quarterback run, and he's a tough guy like that. They had a couple runs early, and then they couldn't move the ball with him through those 6 drives. And then the last drive, and I told the players, put it on me. We got to make plays. We got to do things to details when you're going against somebody that's really good like that. And I think BYU's O-line is really good. They've got some maturity to it. But once again, the way that Coach Satake has built that program and the continuity made a big difference. Now, we didn't capitalize on opportunities to get off the field. And in the overtime, we do a great job on offense, get down there. They call the hold on tube, whatever, we could kick a field goal. Our idea is let's go be aggressive as hell. Let's see if we can knock them backwards and not give up a field goal. They're trying to score a touchdown to end the game, and they lose 2 yards on that drive. And they kick a long field goal that if you watch that field goal, it was over the All-State hands on the screen from 44 yards. Well, that dude could have hit one from 65 yards. So he missed one earlier in the game, though, with a little bit of pressure and a little bit of water. So we were hoping we get him back, we get him on a hash. He might miss it. And then we go out there, and I was really hoping they were going to go for 2 at the end of the regulation to tie it and to go overtime. Because we had spent some significant time. Now, if you're detailed, they work on critical situations with the speed option stuff, which they got us on 1. We got them on 2. And then 2-point plays, because I figured the game was going to come down to that kind of opportunity if we didn't boat race them. And I thought there was opportunities during that game for the University area Wildcats to put that thing away, and we just didn't take advantage of it. When you're up 24-14 and we've got possessions and on both sides, that's how close this team is to being good. So all the let's burn the village down, understand we're building with continuity. We've been here for a year and a half. This is a good football team in Tucson. Are we great yet? We are not. Are we elite yet? We are not. Can we get there between now and the end of the season? We can if they keep attacking it. And I said this way back then too. You don't have to have the most talent. You have to have enough. And we have enough talent to be a good football team. We don't have enough talent to beat ourselves in critical moments. And so I'm still all in. I love the 5-2-0. Absolutely freaking think this place is fantastic. Okay? And the emotion and the passion from Saturday, I'm glad it hurt people, okay? It sucks that we lost. Freaking hate that. And like I said, I hate freaking losing. I'm walking out the field, my wife thinks I'm freaking crying. I'm just violently ill. Because you put all that in, and the fact that the city of Tucson felt the same way, and they're a little pissed off because we had a 10-point lead, guess what? That means people care. So we have to keep continuing to get them to care by playing good football and earn what we lost in that moment over the next 8 weeks back. So be mad at me. We had an opportunity with the top 15 defense in the country to stop them, and we didn't.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Justin and then Troy.
Dalton Johnson, we had a chance to talk to him a little bit ago. This is going to be a homecoming for him.
It is.
What do you make of just the progress that he's made this year, the leadership that he's shown, and what did you think about his first interception this year?
Well, one, he's from Katy, Texas, which is a football hotbed. And he's been here since he was recruited by the Sumlin staff before they got fired and still decided to be an Arizona Wildcat. And went through, before Sumlin got fired, and then went through with Coach Sumlin's staff and went through with Coach Fish and now here with us. And from the time I've been here since last January to where Dalton is now. I don't know if the people want to remember about this one. And Coach Shear's board talked a whole bunch of noise about how I couldn't coach linebackers. Okay? I'm okay with that because guess what? We had to move Dalton Johnson to linebacker last year. And Dalton Johnson and Tay Brown were the 2 most productive players on our football team last year on that side of the ball. Dalton Johnson gives us an opportunity. And I also, I saw on Twitter, it might have been you, Michael. I'm not positive. We talked about, no, you tell me if I'm wrong. When you have a defense where your secondary has the majority of the tackles, it's not a good thing. Was that you? Yes. Okay. You're right and you're wrong. It depends on how you base the scheme, okay? What we do around here and how we plus one on the run, we use our middle safety to come down there and fit the run every single time. So Genesis Smith is essentially our middle linebacker. Brian Urlacher was our middle linebacker in New Mexico. He led the nation with 178 tackles, okay? So in this defense, you're going to have a safety. Now, I spent from the time that Brent told me that I was going to be the coordinator here, we have two guys between Dalton and Jen who I felt could be middle linebacker types. And we've done some stuff schematically that they don't know which middle safety or which deep safety. It gives you almost have a cover two look. Which middle safety is going to come down and be the middle linebacker between Dalton and Jen, and we can flip it by call, we can flip it by formation, we can flip it by coverage. And if you look at statistically, our two leading tacklers are our two middle linebackers, Dalton Johnson, Genesis Smith. Max Harris and Tay Brown are the next two who are the next closest to the ball. And then you've got Deshaun McKnight and Tia Savea who are right there behind them. So our scheme is designed for a guy because we have a guy like Dalton Johnson who can play in the deep middle and play in the deep half, and Genesis Smith, who's probably the best post safety in the country. But they can come down and be a linebacker 7 yards and make the majority of the tackles because the center cannot account for a guy that's 12 yards deep in the middle of the field in the run count. Impossible. And so the design of that and how we were able to do that, and I spent a ton of time between December and spring and trying to figure out how can we get those guys to where they have no idea who it is, because now it's really tricky. They're having to account for two different guys that might be the middle linebacker and where they're coming from. So Dalton Johnson is super special because he can be that piece. You can't do that with a ton of safeties. And it's really hard to find that piece in recruiting because a safety that plays linebacker usually didn't play in the box. And come and ask those guys, ask the old lineman and ask Mally and ask Tia how loud it is down there when there's live bullets, when you've got 330-pound guys trying to cut your neck in half, okay? And so you got a safety that wants to fit down there in that box. It gets really, are they tough enough or are they not? And so Dalton is. Genesis is. Not all DBs are. And then when you're recruiting a DB in high school, a linebacker, most of them haven't backpedaled. Brian Urlacher was receiver, DB, / linebacker. Brian couldn't cover for nothing. So we moved all those pieces around him and left him in the middle. That's really smart coaching because he led the nation with 178 tackles. So how do you use those pieces, and are they special? Dalton Johnson, Katy, Texas, Houston, Texas, the football hotbed. Nobody talks about how the great football is in New Mexico. We'd crush Texas if we had a chance. Am I not wrong? Huh? Santa Fe, St. Michael's, are we not going to compete in Texas? Probably not. But the hotbed that we have right there, with what we're doing with Dalton and those guys, he's a special, special person. And seeing him get an interception and the fumble recoveries, and we're third in the nation right now in interceptions. We're fourth in the country in gain turnovers. I talked a bunch of noise back here in the spring, and y'all thought I was crazy because we have enough talent. And those guys give the players all the credit because they're the ones making the plays. I don't make a single play. Probably screw them up more than I help them. What else? That was only one question. We're on a roll now. What's the timer, Coach Shear?
You talked about third down.
Sir.
The down that caused the issues defensively, but it seemed like you executed well on first down, and then second down that you had a lot of big runs right there to set up those third down situations. Do you think that was just schematically kind of like what Dalton was talking about, having to account for bear running there?
So they do, when they +1 you with the quarterback run, yes. Second 10 statistically, we actually did, like you said, we had success on first down. I think we lead the Big 12 in tackles for loss, and we're like fourth in the country in tackles for loss. I think we're in the top 25 in sacks because we're getting good pressure on the quarterback with a four-man rush too. On those second and 10, a couple times early, they got me because statistically they had been heavy pass, especially after an incomplete pass, they were heavy run. But after a run or a negative play, they would throw the ball on second down. They got me early on a couple of run stunts that we did away from the quarterback run, and the guys got them on the ground. The third downs that we weren't great on, and we've been really good on third and short all year long. 3rd and 1 to 3, I think the offense has a huge advantage. They whooped our tail on Saturday night. They were 4 or 5 on third down from 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1 to 2, really. 3rd and 3 to plus, they were 3 of 12. That's frustrating because the championship down we won, they were 2 of 6 in the championship down. They were 1 of 6 on 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 7 plus. But we usually break even or do better on the 3rd and 1. And because of the quarterback run, they got us twice. They did have to throw it twice on 3rd and 2. And then we caused a fumble on the chain debacle on the 4th quarter, which if we get on that football, I mean, it's a beautiful punch out by Genesis Smith. And we have 2 corners that come together, and I don't know how we don't end up with the ball. That's the difference between winning and losing a game. And so the championship down, we won the championship down. We didn't lose. We didn't win 3rd and short, and they were ended up 8 of 16, which was probably the difference in them winning the game.
Michael and Brian.
I don't really know why fans have kind of dismissed the loss of Trey Smith, who was obviously a very good player when healthy. I'm not sure he was healthy after his initial injury, but how are you kind of assessing how you're going about replacing him? And is Mays Pace playing a bigger role than you maybe envisioned?
If you saw Saturday, we were a little bit more 3 linebacker personnel, with Riley getting extensive reps and Chase Kennedy being fully healthy. We can smite that rotation between Tia, Deshaun, Leroy, Julian, Malachi, Mays, and then you work in Zach Seal up a little bit on the inside. I mean, on our goal line, we put 5 D linemen in there. They didn't move us an inch. Maybe we should have left them. Now they spread us out, so we couldn't have. But how are we going to use Mays and Dom and Mally? And then what can Tia and Deshaun give us? If Deshaun got, it was really disappointing. He's got an oblique, whatever, strain or whatever they call it in his mid. I mean, he practiced tail off today, and nothing. That if you ever had an oblique injury, it's very painful. He finished the entire game. It was on his tackle for loss. We've got to be able, and Trey Smith is a vital part to what we do defensively because he's so physical. And on the statistics, it wasn't showing up for him having significant tackles for loss, sacks, and all that stuff. But the disruption he has, if we would have put him on the tight end to the tight side, it would have been a little bit harder for them to run, the quarterback runs, because he can eliminate 2 people because of his power. Here's what Trey Smith and the positive to, and I told him when we sat down and the young man was heartbroken and shattered and really wanted to play through his injury. God's plans are bigger than ours. And Trey Smith has not gone into a season in the last 2 years without something. He had surgery on his shoulder to fix his collarbone in the spring, and so, or really early summer. So he missed the majority of summer weightlifting, recovering from that. Last year he had a high ankle deal, and he had a foot deal, and he had a shoulder injury. So we were trying to get him from game to game every week with minimal practice, which hurt his development. And then he has such a physical presence that you try and get him to Saturday. Well, we decided to have the surgery right now. We can get Trey another year of eligibility through the paperwork because he didn't play in the majority of the games. He only played in 3 games. And if we can get Trey Smith healthy with a full 1.5 years of development under Coach Salavea, I'm super excited for what that can do for our front next year with him and Mays and Ezra and Leroy and Julian. I mean, we have some pieces with Zach and stuff, and then we'll go find some more in the recruiting that we have. I mean, the ones that we have, there's a couple of them committed right now that we think can possibly play as freshmen, which is really hard to do on the D-line. But, like I said, God's plans are greater than ours, so he has a plan for Trey Smith, and we're going to take advantage of what we can in that moment. But we're going to miss him.
Brian and Jason.
First impressions on what you've seen from Houston, and do you think that based on where BYU did the quarterback run, that they might try to implement that more than they have?
They've used it quite a bit. And let's talk about Willie Fritz for a minute. What a phenomenal football coach Coach Fritz is. Phenomenal. The success he had at Sam Houston, the success he had at Tulane, what he's doing right now at Houston. And if you go back and look at his career path from year 1 to year 2, year 1 not always good, year 2 phenomenal. And they're on that path right now. They're 5-1. Connor Wigman was the #1 recruit in the country quarterback in the country coming out in 21 when he went to Texas A&M. We played against him in 23 when I was at New Mexico. Dean Connors, number 44. I mean, they've done a great job, but they did a great job with the transfer portal. Everybody on their their front five on the offensive line, except for Demetrius Hunter, the center. He's the anchor. He's been there since 22. Everybody else is brand new, whether they transferred in, and they've done a good job of putting those pieces together. Okay, Amari Thomas has like a ton of records at UAB. They put him in the slot. They put him outside. I think he's really dangerous. The number 9 tight end, Koziel, that's the second leading receiver. He's got over 30 catches. So they're doing things schematically to get their ball players opportunities to make plays. I think Amari makes a ton of them. The running back, Connors does a great job of making you miss in space. He does a great job getting vertical. And I don't know if you guys watched the Oklahoma State game, but he made a catch. It was funny. We're showing it last night, and somebody yells out, "That has to be AI." That's how good of a catch it was. It was phenomenal. So they got some athletic ability, and what Coach Fritz has instilled in the belief in their program. It's going to be a hell of a football game on Saturday morning. I mean, you got two good teams that believe they're good. So we're going to smash into each other, and it'll be a hell of a deal. They're good on defense. We're good on defense. We're good on offense. They're good on offense. So it's going to be a hell of a football game. So give Coach Fritz a lot of credit.
When you as a defense go on the road, what are the biggest challenges in terms of just overall operation and all that, beyond just
For us, 0. It is not loud when we're on the field. I mean, all the quarterback has to do is do this, and it shuts up. And I was disappointed with the BYU contingency on Saturday because I was hearing all week long it was going to be 40% stadium. They had a great contingency over in that corner, but it wasn't nearly as many as I thought it was going to be. When I played against Michigan State on the road a couple years ago in 2018, they had about 30,000 people in the stands. I mean, that was a very interesting phenomenon for them to travel that well. And BYU does travel well, but I thought especially the ones that were I mean, obviously Hurricane Priscilla screwed a lot of that up, and I'm going on a tangent, Coach Shear. I'll get back to your question. But the people that were in Arizona Stadium, like the Arizona Wildcat faithful that were there and then stuck it out and stayed through the rain delay, like they were awesome. They were outstanding. And when BYU started chanting BYU in the fourth quarter, and the U of A contingency was like, no, screw you, U of A. I mean, that was phenomenal. Like that's what college football is about. And so when we go on the road, when we were at Iowa State, it wasn't loud when we were on the field. The communication, we can communicate easier than when Seth and those guys are on the field. And when we have to practice crowd noise and all that stuff, it ain't for us. It's for when they're out there offensively. I'm looking forward. I mean, I haven't been to the new stadium there in Houston. I mean, probably the perfect size for that school where they're at, which is awesome. And hopefully they have a good crowd because it makes it more fun for us. It does make it more fun for us. It's more challenging on the offense, but it makes it more fun for us when people are excited, when we have a crowd like we did on Friday night. And the rest of the Big 12, I mean, everybody has a great home field advantage. We want to go take that away if we can.
Last two with Michael and Justin.
There's been a lot of coaching changes already this season, and you earlier referenced the importance of continuity and how BYU has kind of built things up. You also kind of talked about the burn the village mentality that a lot of fans take, and we understand like why they are how they are. But can you just speak a little bit more on the importance of establishing continuity, keeping a coaching staff intact for several years, and how that can benefit a program like Arizona in the long run?
I think it's well, here's where how I'll start this, and I'm glad you asked that question. And I think Coach Shear's board and Twitter and a lot of people within the history of this football program. I mean, this is the 122nd team, and we're really proud to be the 122nd team of Arizona football. The statement, well, this is Arizona football. We screwed that thing off on Saturday. This is Arizona football. I want that to become a thing. I want this is Arizona football to become the statement because I believe in what we're building and what we're doing, and I want people to say, hell yeah, this is Arizona football. We won that game on Saturday night because it came down to a critical moment and our kids responded. And they're going to respond this week. They've already responded, like Seth said, the Sunday night flush, like they were, like we have the 24-hour rule and everybody's like really, and there's fake sad. There's like you see a guy that like is acting pissed off, like, oh, I'm cooler than everybody else because it hurt me more. There wasn't none of that. Like we had a devastated locker room, which is what you want. I mean, grown men that have tears in their eyes because they're so they put everything they have into it to lose. And to show up Sunday with the right attitude and the right demeanor says a lot about our football team. Now, if we go out there and lay an egg on Saturday, well, then shame on us, okay? I think we have good enough players that believe in what we're doing in all three phases that they're going to work their tails off and show up on Saturday and Saturday's going to be just like this, and we got to find a critical moment to flip the game on Saturday morning. So the continuity that I talk about, and there's bad continuity too now. I mean, when you get as a head coach, oftentimes you can become entitled if you're winning too much, and people get tired of your tale. They don't want to hear the same thing. People will get tired of hearing me talk every week now. Everybody's excited about it right now because we create some fun and positivity. But if we suck, they'll get tired of listening to me, okay? If you're good, you probably have a 7 to 10 year run where people will enjoy you. And then after that point, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, you better be winning championships or they're tired of your tale. And it's time for something else, okay? If you're winning championships and you're winning, now, in the history of Arizona football in the 122 years, we've won 10 games 4 times. Coach Tomey did it twice. That's pretty freaking phenomenal. Okay, well, let's change that. Let's find a way to win 10. Let's find a way to win 10. Let's find a way to win 8, 9. Compete for a championship and get in that mold and build it. You can't do that in a year and a half. And then make a change and do it in another 2 years and then make a change and do it in another 2 years and make a change. Like, I'm not an administrator. I'm not smart enough to be an administrator. I didn't go down that path. But if you want to build something special, and I think we have an unbelievable one in Desiree who believes in the process of what we're building and the support that she's given Coach Brennan and believes in Coach Brennan and his vision, okay? We want the people of Tucson to care and buy into what Coach Brennan is building, because look at what we've turned around from there till 6 games into this season. We've got a good football team. That didn't happen by happenstance. It went by, there's got 10 coaches on this staff that recruit their tails off. We've got a recruiting department and guys going to Fletch, and all their 25 interns, that most of them are volunteers, that work their tail off in the freaking back alley looking for players every single day, okay? So that we can find the Deshaun McKnights, that we can find the guys that we brought FCS players in that people didn't think were going to be good enough and are playing at an elite level in the Big 12. The only way that happens is if you build a program. Kalani Sitake, Matt Campbell, the elite teams, Kyle Whittingham, the elite teams in our conference are building something. Lance Leopold's building something great in Kansas, and he's done it at several places. Coach B did it at San Jose State. You get better players, you're going to be a better coach. So we have to evaluate. But the continuity of building that is where you have a chance to compete for champions. You okay, Brett? Where you have a chance to compete for championship. I'll give you the Heimlich or whatever we need to do over there. I'll step in. I'm CPR certified. Okay? You build that by continuity. And so I think it's important. And that's how you become able to contend in the Big 12.
Max Harris, just what do you make of the impact that he's made in that linebacker room through the first 6 games?
From the spring, and I've said this a few times, like Max's journey through college football, starting at Incarnate Word, going to Louisiana Monroe, going to Texas State, coming here, is like my sad version of what's happening to college football. Okay, now I think Max Harris is like one of the coolest human beings, and his leadership skills have given him an ability to be a leader at all 4 of those spots, because they didn't want to lose him at Texas State. He wanted to perform on a big, what he perceived as a bigger stage. He fit in early in spring, and we had a deal where we were doing a team building competition with this group called The Program, which was awesome, by the way, where it's like a kind of a Navy SEAL training-ish type deal where you put them through, and they asked for somebody to step up to be a leader. Bam, that sucker ran out and was the first one to hop out in front of the football team, a new guy. And nobody batted an eye. Everybody was like, yeah, his voice through spring ball. And to be a leader, in the reality of it, to be a leader, you have to be a good player. Like, you can't be a leader and be a fake guy. Doesn't work. Like, people won't follow you. They'll see right through you. And in the game of football, if you have an elite ability to play and you're physical and you're a badass, like, they will follow. And there's positive and negative leaders now. There can be cancers in your locker room. So through the recruiting process, especially in the transfer portal, you have to do the best job you can in that speed dating term over 2 days to figure out, you better call people and find out if this is the kind of dude you want in your locker room, because if you make the wrong choice, like, it'll tear your locker room and gut you. And Max Harris is like the epitome of everything you want to find in the transfer portal. 1, he's a damn good player. 2, his leadership skills. He's the one that I talked to on the green dot on Saturday. And it's an interesting, I mean, I look like a freaking robot when I'm putting this whole suit on, because you got a walkie-talkie here, you got the mic com for the coaches, you got a button here. And so I pushed the button, and whether we wanted them to look back over for the sideline to get a new signal, or if I wanted to just tell Max like what to do, he can get it communicated to everybody, and they listen. And you can't do that with everybody. And you can screw some kids up by talking to them during a play like that deal, and then it cuts off at 15 seconds, and like you don't have to worry about that with him. So we've got a great leader between him and Tay Brown, and Tay Brown is like I love Tay Brown. He's like the guy that nobody wants on your team. He's not flashy, he's not sexy, but the dude has 14 tackles, and he's probably the toughest sucker on your football team. And he's got a beautiful girlfriend, and I tell him all the time, dude, like, take care of her. Like, because if you don't, somebody else will. And you know what? You want to marry that, and if you don't take care of her when you're not together, like when you get with her or whatever, or you call her on the phone and tell her how much you love her, because if you don't, somebody else is going to, and boom, she's gone. Like, that's everything in life. I tell all our guys that. Like, I try and make sure that Sandra knows that I think she's the greatest, most beautiful thing in the world, because I don't want somebody coming in there and trying to swipe her from me. And so Tay Brown and Max are like the anchor of what we have inside. They play almost every play. I mean, Tay's 14 tackles. He's trying to catch Jen and Dalt. Tell them it's probably a pipe dream because of the way we set those guys up for where they are, but they take challenge to it. So now through 6 games, we played good. We haven't played elite. We have enough talent to be elite. We have to be detailed in those moments to finish that. I said it in March. We want to be a top 15 defense in the country. We are right now. We got 6 games to prove it, to finish this thing off. And I challenged our defense the other day. Let's be top 10. Why stop there? Why not be top 5? Like, let's go out there. But to do that, you have to execute, be detailed, and dominant. And we're going against the top 25 defense, and I mean, they're averaging almost 400 yards a game on offense coming in. They rush it for over 160. They throw it for 2 something. I mean, it's a great challenge, and they're a really good football team that's really believes in what they're doing, and they're 5-1. So you got a 4-2 and a 5-1 team in the Big 12 at 11 o'clock Central Texas time on Saturday on what? Was Fox Sports 1? Like, hell yeah, let's go do this. Okay, 24 hours ended after we gutted ourselves against BYU. Okay, so be mad at me about not getting the defense out there and finishing that damn thing when we had a chance. And you know what? Let's move on together as a community, as a football program, and as a team, and let's go get the one in Houston and then fill this place back up when we come back here after the bye week. And we go get Colorado, and then we come back here. Like, buy into what we're building here. Buy into the Wildcat football community. Keep that statement. Whoever wrote that down, like, oh, crap, this is Arizona football. Hell yeah. Oh, crap, this is Arizona football. Like, let's build that. And if we recruit good enough players, let's build it. Let's have fun. But give Coach, give Kalani and their football team credit, because they found ways to win the game when it was on the line. We didn't. And so we got to learn from it, move forward. We've moved forward. We'll teach the details and demand them even better, and the players. But the best part is, regardless of what we do, because coaches don't play or players win games, okay, they'll demand the details from each other. And on a couple of the mistakes when they're coming off the field, this is how I know we have a chance to continue to be good, is those guys are talking out what the thing is. Like, they're telling those guys, hey, you were supposed to do this, get your ass there. Like, we got a chance. They're not fighting. They're holding each other accountable. And the accountability part of Redline, like, hell yeah, let's go do this. So show back up, Tucson. Don't give in. Burn the village down for a day. Put the fire out. And then, come on, let's go. Let's keep this thing building. All right, bear down.
Thank you.